So, Tappy members, be prepared to hear the most valuable thing you can hear from an industry expert like Mark. Some well thought out advice. So, Mark, the time as a YP can often come with a multitude of uncomfortable situations. You have new jobs, new coworkers, and of course, you're often the lowest on the totem pole. Along with these facets, it can sometimes be hard to challenge the status quo like you so often have. So, being an expert at going against the grain, so much so that you actually have a mantra you often reference, fight the dogma that feeds you. The fourth question I have for you is how can YPs constantly challenge the that's what has always been done mentality?
Guts. Guts, plain and simple. At some point, and the earlier you can have the guts to do it, the better you will be moving forward. Is if you don't believe in something, if you know better, if you have the wherewithal and the knowledge base, speak up. Just challenge your bosses or your boss's bosses. I'm gonna give a quick reference to early in my career at Weyerhaeuser. I was working on a project. It was at the time the biggest research project that Weyerhaeuser ever had. And I had the opportunity to go up to corporate headquarters for a review with a VP. And I'm there with the guy that's running the project, my boss, and we're going through this whole technical thing. And, the guy that's running the project, he starts saying something that was inaccurate. We'll call it that for lack of a better expression. And I said, no, that's not right. And explained why and everything else. 6 months later, I was up for a promotion at Weyerhaeuser, and it had to go up the food chain to however far it had to go up. And I actually got promoted one level above what my promotion was because the VP that I sat in front of that day wrote a note when he signed off on, said, "This is a must." And, I got thrown up the food chain at Weyerhaeuser. I was shocked and amazed, but it all started with having belief. Believe in yourself, believe in your knowledge. And once again, this goes back to learning as much as you possibly can about things. Know your stuff. Excuse the expression, don't bullshit. Know your stuff. And it will carry you. I've worked with some mild-mannered people, both male and female in my career. And I've always tried to preach to them, believe. Know it, believe in it, speak up. My folks here know if I'm incorrect, every one of them. I want them to challenge me. If my mindset or what the route that I'm thinking, if they've got a better idea, challenge me. It's tough. It's tough to have guts to step up. But guess what? You're not going to get fired. You're not going to get fired. I mean, don't be a jerk about it, but, use your mentality and methodology and challenge. A lot of times you'll get appreciated for it.
Yeah, I think what you say there, you're not going to get fired. I think it kind of just bears preaching that the negatives of the consequences of you actually being wrong are far outweighed by the positives of you being right. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to learn something new, which, as you've already pointed out, is something you preach all the time. The worst thing that could happen is probably actually going to be a good thing for you later on. But if you do challenge the status quo and you do actually do it in a proper way, the positives are enormous. I mean, the respect that you can gain from that, I guess I've always viewed it as, if I know that something's wrong, do I want to be a passenger to something that I don't believe in? I want to be the driver for that. It's kind of what I've always hopped on. I don't want to just be the person sitting there. Maybe it's my backseat passenger mentality, but you know what? I want to be the one that's actually driving us to change if I know that we're not on the right path.
Yeah, I like your analogy there. There's an expression that a lot of people use, and it bugs me to no end when they go, "Well, it's not my first rodeo," and I've come up with a response now, and I'm not afraid to use it. Well, were you a spectator or were you a rider?
Yep, fully agree.